We're live. What? What? Okay. Let's go to admin. This is the new event we have. Okay. Delete this. Okay, let's wait for some people to come on, Corby.
Yes.
It's very early this morning. Actually, not that early, but it is an early start today in the effective house. But we're gonna get to it. We're trying a new time. We're also gonna make this role of a central midfielder. So we can go public too, to fill up the numbers. So that's public. Let's see who's here. 8 a.m. Okay.
One or two people.
Two people.
On YouTube.
Okay. So we'll try something different here. Three watching. Hello, everyone.
What's up?
Well, let's just get right into it. Let's get right into it. Today's discussion, it's going to be a quick 20 to 30 minutes masterclass on the role of a central midfielder. My name is Nick Humphreys, otherwise known as someone who doesn't really play central midfield. Sometimes. Usually my position is more on the wings. Although, there's a few times we actually played together once, Corby, in the central midfielder, and it worked well. So maybe it's something in the future. But the real central midfielder here today is Mr. Corby Stimmer.
Yes, I've played central midfielder for the last probably 7 to 8 years. So that was always my main position on the field. So I think I know a few things about what you have to do as a central midfielder, and let's start.
So what we're gonna do, we're right now on a site. It's called MyCujoo. MyCujoo. mycujoo.tv. And what we're gonna be doing here is finding a match to analyze. The reason why we are on MyCujoo is one, YouTube and streaming sites in general have issues when you're looking at Premier League matches and Champions League. And the second, you can relate it more because the skill level is a little bit less, and it's can be a bit more interesting. So we got a lot of matches here. We got India, Kyrgyzstan versus India.
Guess so. Asian Cup.
Asian Cup.
Let's see.
we watched a Swiss match the other day. What we could watch today. We might as well just watch India.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very interesting. And we're going to analyze the role of a central midfielder here. So let's get right into it. All right. Crowd building. My goodness.
No wonder.
No. On YouTube.
5 people watching.
5 people.
6 now.
6. It's early days.
Yeah.
Early days.
Yeah.
So this match is just about to start. Here come the teams. I don't know which one is India. I guess on this side.
Yeah, that was I think.
All right. Interesting. It's going to be a very interesting match, guys. Here we go. We kicked off. What? Did the guy even blow his whistle?
I don't even know. They weren't even all back in their field. In their half.
Yeah, right? Oh, jeez. Oh. So white versus blue. Blue is India.
Yeah.
White is Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. And we're going to be looking at the midfielders, central midfielders specifically. We're going to be analyzing this game as it goes. All right, so.
Wait. What? Oh, we missed the goal.
I see. It is 1-0, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. First of all, oops. What the hell happened here?
Huh? You just scroll up.
One of the first actions of I mean, okay. This is one of the first actions that I saw with this tackle. Just before we get to this, so he was very on his toes, this white player, to win back this ball, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Like, just analyzing this movement right here, real quick. It seems like we got the white and blue player in the middle of the field. The white player is looking for option.
Yeah.
He drops in to receive, and he actually makes a movement to go away. Mistakenly. Well, actually, not mistakenly. I think that was interesting because the two, are they the midfielders in the middle? Like, let's just play this back.
Yeah.
So, if we pause here, so one player is making a movement towards the ball, and as he makes that movement, he is creating a gap or space left, if you see this, for another player to come into.
Exactly.
In football, and there are game brains on this, by the way, guys, in Train Effective, this is called, I have a mind blank, it's called, there's a specific word for this, basically rotations. And it didn't quite work out here. I think the white defender gave the pass too early.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he won it back.
Well
Oh well, it's a foul. The intention was there though.
Yeah.
Just before we get into a bit more analysis,
Yeah.
I think people are wondering, what is the role of a central midfielder? And obviously we're gonna get through a lot of things today.
Yeah.
But like, what are those attributes? I think two of them we just already seen when we go back. When we see the switching play, the rotations,
Yeah.
and winning the ball back, anticipation, I guess. What do you think are the other?
I mean, like the main role of a midfielder, or especially of a central midfielder, is to connect the defenders with the attack. And I think a lot of times, I mean, it's very simple to say that, but a lot of times teams and even coaches can forget that. I mean, you look at, I don't know, even a country like England where they just kick the ball up to the strikers and hope that they do something with it, and they kind of like completely forget about the midfielders, and like they don't even.
So is that a difference, Corby? You've played in the U.S.
Yeah.
You've played in England now, a couple of games,
Yeah.
and in Germany most of the time.
Yeah.
And we've played together here in a couple of matches, and I think that's an observation that we always had is.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to keep the ball, and maybe it's just a lower division thing. We
Right.
played for that Hadley team, remember?
Yeah. I think obviously like in the Premier League they're doing a better job at it, but I think even in the leagues below, like what they call it, like League 2 or like League 1,
League 2,
League 1, League
Conference.
2. Yeah. Definitely in those leagues they still like just try to kind of kick the ball to the strikers and hope that they do something with it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, yeah, and definitely in the like
I hate that way.
yeah.
I hate that way.
And
it's not fun.
Yeah. And definitely in the lower divisions, probably in every country, they do that because they simply, don't have the technical abilities to kind of play the ball from the back to the front. And so, as I said, the main role of a central midfielder is to connect the defenders with the attackers or with the strikers. And so that means as a central midfielder you always have to give the defenders an option to pass to, because that's your main job. That's what you're
You always have to give the defenders an option to pass to.
Yeah.
How do you always make yourself available for a defender?
I mean, there are definitely different ways to do it.
Maybe we can get an example here.
Yeah. In the match, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can.
I mean, let's see where the central midfielders. Okay.
So here's a defender on the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take this back. So foul here. Defender is going to pick up the ball for a free kick.
So look at this play now.
So we look at a player right in the middle of the screen. Midfielder marked by the blue.
You see, he's gonna make a short move, like direction change in this. Or
direction change.
And then
Boom.
come back to. But I mean, he didn't get the ball, but still. Yeah.
And even if we take it back again, if we look at this one more time.
Yeah. He cuts back and tries to get the ball.
I mean, Kyrgyzstan is not bad with their movement.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a couple of rotations here in the midfield. Actually, in this case, the winger, the number I think 18, at the far right of the screen actually makes a run inside, and then there's the switching.
Yeah.
I think it's a fullback. The fullback is pressing kind of high.
Yeah.
Winger is dropping in. And if he had just made connected that pass, then that fullback was all free on the wing, and that could have created a chance.
100%.
It's good movement.
Yeah. No, I mean even as a winger, you're still a midfielder, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you have to. I mean, you also have to give them options give the defenders options to get the ball into. I mean, to create chances and yeah.
Let's see how India plays.
Looks like they're trying to kick the ball up front.
They're doing the long ball,
Yeah.
long ball technique.
Yeah, you could see in the middle, like there's
Take it back.
like here. There's two center midfielders,
2 center midfielders to the blue. Yeah.
and so he's gonna get the ball, and you're gonna see no movement from those two guys. So that guy should have dropped back to give him another angle, like to give him a better angle to pass to, but he didn't, and that's why, well, they ended up losing the ball. So
The two blues in the middle of the screen.
yeah,
There's no movement from them,
so it just
and they're all, yeah.
he should have come back here.
Should have come back, made an angle,
Yeah,
but nothing there. This is a bad example of being a central midfielder.
Yeah.
Let's just one more time for you guys. No angle, you know.
and ideally you don't have them like being on the same line. So
Same
you have
line, yeah.
one coming here, and this one could even, I mean, depending on the situation, he could even come in here or come further out here. So when he gets the ball, he can pass to him and then open up the field a bit more. But yeah.
Yeah, it's too crowded in this area
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is switch the play,
Yeah.
and yeah. You also have a defender in the center, in the half, which you could switch the play to,
Definitely.
and try again from the other side. But this is just, we'll keep going. What? What are the other attributes of a central midfielder? You said the first one was connecting the attack and the defense and attack.
I'd say second one is you have to be able to run a lot, so your stamina has to be really good. You always have to keep moving. You always have to create angles for other players to pass to. You have to track back to defend. You have to, help the strikers or wingers to create chances. You have to, ideally, you'd know how to shoot as well and play through balls and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like as a central midfielder, you have to be a really, really complete player. I think the only thing that you don't really have to be, you don't have to be super fast. And
You don't have to be super fast.
yeah,
So you think? So one of the attributes of a central midfielder is not about speed, I guess. You're not.
no, I mean speed of play definitely. So you have to be really fast, like pretty much in your head, and how fast you can pass, because you're gonna be under a lot of pressure usually. But yeah, I mean you look at players like Santi Cazorla or Modric, or I mean even Toni Kroos or something. They're not particularly fast or anything,
No.
but they have a good stamina because they have to run a lot.
Even the older players retired now, like
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard,
Yeah,
Pirlo,
Yeah.
and Pirlo was playing until he was 1 or 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So until he was 40, almost 40.
Yeah.
And that just shows you it's not about central midfielder. It's not all about speed. It's about
Yeah.
being a connector, playmaker,
Yeah.
and to do that you don't necessarily have to have speed.
Yeah.
But what about stamina?
Oh, definitely have to have a lot of that.
Up
Yeah.
and down.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the best players. I mean, if you look at someone like Pirlo, at the end of his career, he was at a stage where he kind of knew the game that well that he always kind of knew what was going to happen. So he got himself in a positions before the situation, before it actually happened. So he actually didn't have to run that much, which is why he was able to play that long.
So he knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, because he
one or two or three passes ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was just that experienced.
Yeah, 100%.
And I guess that's also what makes a great midfielder, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing what's gonna happen a couple of passes ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
especially the higher levels.
yes. If you look at someone like N'Golo Kante, he's incredible at that. Like,
Is he?
Anticipating what is going to happen. I mean, that's why he's able to, what's it called, intercept like passes that often. Like, and yeah, he's really good at that. And if you look at him, like his stamina is also like he's running the whole match.
He's like a Kenyan marathon, Mo Farah.
Yeah.
But just the footballer type.
Yeah, and I mean, as a center midfielder, you also want to know how to tackle. I mean, Kante is the best example of that. To get the ball back and yeah.
Wow. In a side note, though, I mean, what was happening here?
Not much.
I don't know where this guy is playing to.
What?
That was. What? Again, like here, good movement, good kind of switching in and out. The fullback is also always in space.
Yeah.
So just to recap, we have central midfielder being the connector to from defender to attacker.
Yeah.
We have a couple of important attributes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always about speed.
Yeah.
It's about awareness. It's about how you can make yourself in a position to be available for the defenders and the attackers as much as possible.
Yeah.
It's not about speed, being a central midfielder. It doesn't have to be about speed. It's more about speed of thought and anticipation of where you think the next pass, two passes, three passes are going to go, and then putting yourself in a position like Kante, N'Golo Kante, or say Steven Gerrard even in the past, to go win the ball.
Yeah.
Win the ball, and even make plays for your team. But how? I mean, I think this is a question a lot of players are going to be asking themselves. How do you know what's going to happen 2 passes from now? How do you learn that? Because you always hear analysts, you always hear great players saying, yes, this is an attribute of a great player or midfielder. But how do you know what's going to happen 1, 2, 3 passes ahead? And difficult question, but
I think my experience, like, it is actually just experience. I mean, that's why the best, like the players who are the best at that are usually players that have played for a long time in that position, like Pirlo, like Steven Gerrard, like Iniesta, because they have the experience and they know that they've played so many matches in training even, that they know from experience what is probably going to happen. And one way you could learn that, or how you could accelerate that even, is watching matches like that, or like analyzing matches like that, because that's where you kind of see the decisions that players usually make, and they're kind of I was gonna say they're kind of like things that repeat themselves in a match that players usually do in certain situations, that you
just kind of find patterns.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a big takeaway from anybody watching, is find the patterns. If you analyze one player, and this is why I always preach, like, get a notebook, write notes in the effective platform, if you remember, as well, is write notes of games you see. Keep analyzing one player. For me, I used to look a lot at the off the ball movements of players in my own position. Just thinking who I analyzed a lot. I played a winger a lot, so for example, Ronaldo, I'd always look at, and Cristiano Ronaldo, you would see what are the things he's doing 5 to 10 seconds before he gets the ball. What kind of movements is he making? If he knows, say Cristiano Ronaldo knows the ball is going to be spread to him on the wing, because he sees a switch of play happening, maybe one or two passes before he gets the ball, he's making a run inside the pitch, so he can create a bit of space, so he can go outside again, so he can receive the ball on the touchline.
Yeah.
Similarly, if he is defending, Ronaldo is defending, say as a winger, and he knows the other team are going to switch the ball, then he is putting himself in a position where he's going to be able to defend the ball, maybe defend on the front foot and try to win the ball back. So this is anticipation.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo's a great example for that. Like if you look at analysis videos of Ronaldo or whatever, you always see that he always knows like two passes ahead of the defender what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Also because just a lot of experience and a lot of like I think a lot of studying that he did of football or of a football match. Yeah. Oof.
Do you have a chance coming?
Yeah.
Studying, and I think a lot of players get this. Younger players get this misconception. Not even players, just general public, that the footballers are really stupid.
Yeah.
You know, they're just kicking the ball, and they're just physically better than everyone else and stuff like that. But this is maybe one of the biggest misconceptions, because when you really look at it, you really watch the movements they do on and off the ball when they don't have the ball 89 minutes of the match. We've got to remember that most players only have the ball 1 to 2 minutes during a match. What are they doing the 88 minutes off the ball, 89 minutes off the ball? And yeah, it's like they're done all these things throughout their career just to make that little bit of space, a little extra to receive the ball, or to make a couple of yards to make a goal or assist, or all that. So
that's a good point. That like there have actually been like studies on that, like how intelligent like professional athletes are, and they're actually even like a bit above average the normal
IQ
of the normal population
of IQ.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they obviously don't know, maybe I don't know, some facts that you learn in school or whatever, but they have to be really intelligent in different ways. And,
like for example, spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Because that is part of IQ. Like
100%.
Spatial awareness.
So that's a huge misconception that people have. Yeah.
I mean, of course, the footballers, the highest ones, have sacrificed. A lot of them have sacrificed something with school.
Yeah.
So of course they don't know a lot of facts that most people, or like a 10-year-old would know sometimes. But only because they've been educated. Oh my goodness. They've been educated in other aspects. That was not a bad free kick by India. Someone's been practicing their free kick technique. Let's just watch that again. Wow. So interesting. Free kick. 3 players standing around the ball.
Ooh.
What? Not bad, India.
Yeah.
This is definitely a set play. Oh, it's offside. Damn. What did he... So, he lays the ball off. Boom, boom. Wow. The play was offside. Let's see. I think the player on the farthest... No?
Yeah, I think he was offside.
Yeah. Intelligence. So let's play this back and look at some more live examples. White team, not bad actually. Kyrgyzstan. Trying a little Arsenal, Barcelona, one-touch stuff. And we can look at that again. No, we have quite a gap between midfielders and attackers here.
Yeah.
Can a midfielder make himself available here? With the defender coming up and he's got a bit of space in front of him.
I mean, I think in this situation, what the midfielder actually does is he drags this player away to make space for the striker, I believe it's a striker or winger, to get into this space to receive the ball. So he actually does help the defender.
Yep.
It just doesn't seem like it.
I think that's something that also people wanting to be a great central midfielder need to know.
Yeah.
That it's not about always you getting the ball.
No, 100% not.
It's not about you just getting the ball. It's about creating space for others to drive into. For example, here. So although it's not so obvious,
Yeah.
the white player, we're just coming up to this. We just pause it here again. This player with the ball can drive into space because the central midfielder is not crowding his space and is making a run away, taking away a blue defender, so he can drive in a little bit more.
What just but then he tries to drag him away, but the blue player decides to
come checking,
yeah,
close him down.
Exactly, and in that situation, he has to try to create an angle for him to pass to, because he won't have that option anymore. He still has that option. Let's see if he actually plays him. I don't think. No, he doesn't. But yeah, at that point, he should have created an angle, to have him pass to. I mean, if you've played at any probably good teams or even bad teams, the coaches will always tell you about the triangles that you have to create as a team. So there always have to be at least two options for a player to pass to.
Always two options.
Yeah. And it should look kind of like a triangle.
Like a triangle.
Yeah.
I think Barcelona with a tiki-taka.
Yeah, that's always what they're trying to do.
Always a huge thing.
Yeah.
India with a lot of long balls.
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan is definitely the more technical tape here.
Yeah.
On the YouTube stream, we have Jay Quinn, Bart, McChicken Agent. What's up, guys? Very early morning class. Definitely, maybe the time we won't do in the future, but still interesting.
Yeah.
I think what we can do is make this into a podcast.
Yeah, we could definitely. Yeah.
Because if we get the parts where we, not specifically looking at the footage.
Yeah.
Just the part of what a central midfielder should do.
Yeah.
So, and we do have a podcast we haven't really made content for. I was watching Gary Vaynerchuk video the other day. It was you should be available on where people's attention are.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are still listening to podcasts. I do.
Yeah.
You listen to podcasts, Corbi?
Yeah.
Which one are you listening to right now?
I don't know. I sometimes listen to Joe Rogan's podcast.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. You've listened to his podcast?
No, not really.
Not really.
But I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I just
sometimes when he has the right people on there. I don't listen to most of the.
What's been your favorite Joe Rogan podcast?
Recently, I watched one with this psychologist, Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. I know, which was really interesting. But yeah.
What did Jordan Peterson say? The most interesting thing.
The most interesting thing. I mean, he wrote a book about the 12 things that you kind of need in life to be happy or something, and I actually read that book, and so I've known him before, and I mean, yeah, interesting guy. He just talks about the things you need from a psychological.
Psychological. I think that's what we can do another class about psychology.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
if we have turned this into a podcast, and now the podcast effective fam are listening, then that's something we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Let's just take this back as we go back into the central midfielder. Let's take a look at 2 or 3 more examples before we finish up.
Yeah.
I saw something interesting here. So the Kyrgyzstan team are switching play. We have a midfielder coming. You can already see he's scanning for the ball, looking to see what's around him, and then he's saying, "Give me the ball."
Yes.
You talked about angles, having 2 options available right now. What are his 2 options on the ball for the white player getting the ball?
For the white, well, he can still pass back, and then you see that player is running here to give him an option. This player should come in here to give him another option, and then even if he turns around, he might even be able to pass here or here with a good ball.
Let's see what happens. So I mean, the other player does drop in, make an angle,
and that's where he passes to. Yeah.
If I was a midfielder, I would play this ball first time to the wing, because you do see the winger making a run.
Yeah. But it has to be a good ball. Takes.
So he could have just slid him through.
Would have been a better pass. Oh, maybe not. No. Offside.
Offside.
So it would have been a better pass.
Yeah.
But
just replay that example. That other player drops in, makes an angle. If he just thought a little bit quicker, maybe could have slid this ball in.
Yeah.
To the winger. He had a lot of space, but this actually turned out to be okay. Although offside.
Yeah.
Indians quite physical team. I never really, and this guy's offside. We've had a lot of offsides in this match. I don't know what this player was doing. So definitely differences in kind of understanding, awareness on the field when this blue player attacker is really slow to get back on side.
Yeah.
I mean, this transition of play, if we just look at this again. So the white team have the ball now, long ball. We just count the seconds here. 1, 2, it's been offside for 2-3 seconds. When really it should take him half a second to understand, react, and get onside again. Because if he was onside and this ball was played, there was a lot of space to attack. But just differences: speed of play, speed of thought, awareness on the field. Those are the little things that separate an Indian striker from a let's say a football league striker.
Yeah. I think we talked earlier about kind of making runs for other players or like for the team, which is something that a lot of players don't understand, especially at the lower levels.
Yep.
Is that
big thing.
As a player, you should be making a lot of runs to give your teammates more space. And most players only focus on trying to get the ball so that they can do something with it or whatever. And if you would actually make runs, even if you don't receive the ball, but just to create space for your team, that'd be, few people or few players are willing to do that. But the best, you will see, Champions League matches, the best are willing to do that to create space for their team. Yeah.
I'm just watching this match here, seeing if we can pick up any more examples. 1, 2. Yeah. How what do you think the differences are in training between, say, a central midfielder and another position? You know, what are the specific things you should train as a central midfielder?
As a central midfielder, I mean, it's probably different if you talk about if they train alone or with the team.
Well,
So
let's talk about first maybe what are the most important skills,
Skills.
of a central midfielder,
okay.
and then we can work backwards on what you can actually do,
Sure.
especially to those in the effective platform. But
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I'd say most important skill is as a central midfielder passing. So your passing has to be perfect.
And is that short passing, long passing, mid range, just
Both.
passing from
Everything.
all distances?
Yeah. I mean, short passing probably the most important. Like,
One touch,
yeah.
two touch.
And with that, like with passing, obviously comes just your technique, your overall technique. You have to be able to even dribble in certain situations to get yourself out of like pressure and stuff. But yeah, just in general, I mean, your technique has to be, because as a central midfielder, you're all, like quite often you're gonna be in a situation where the defender has the ball, and you have to have like your opponent is gonna be in your back, and you're gonna come to the defender, give him an option to pass to, and then so there's always gonna be pressure like in your back or on your back behind you, and so your first touch has to be perfect, your pass has to be perfect, you have to be strong enough to kind of shield the ball, and so yeah, I mean those things already are really important.
Let's break it down into what the five most, 3 to 5 most important attributes of a central midfielder, or skills, let's say.
Skills, okay.
The first skill being passing,
Yeah.
both long and short.
Yeah.
Second being first touch
Yeah.
under pressure, not just first touch in general.
Definitely.
Hey, Key. Not just first touch in general, but first touch under pressure.
Yeah.
Third thing.
Third thing, I would say, yeah, we talked about it earlier. Probably stamina, running a lot. To, I mean, not just to like track back and everything, but like you always have to create opportunities for opportunities for your teammates to pass to, and you have to be involved in attacking and defending. So stamina, really important.
Stamina too, not necessarily speed.
Yeah.
Stamina.
Yeah.
These are 3 physical or technical skills, physical and technical skills of a midfielder. Passing, first touch, stamina, and I would say if we added 2 more attributes, those 2 attributes would be so number 4. Awareness of the players around you. For example, great midfielders are always going to be the ones that create space for their team. And number 5 is anticipation, knowing what's going to happen, anticipating what's going to happen 1, 2, 3 passes ahead.
Yeah, I would probably add maybe 1 or 2 things.
Here comes a bonus.
So maybe number 6, I would say strength. So being able to shield the ball. I mean, you look at someone like Kante, who's quite small.
5'7",
something like that.
6.
Maybe small.
He's tiny.
Yeah, but he's
do a side by side with him, Pogba and Kante. Far out.
Yeah, but he's
we can make that the thumbnail. Pogba
Yeah,
and Kante thumbnail. Yeah. of this podcast that we're gonna turn this into. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, he's small, but he's extremely strong on the ball and off the ball. I mean, he wins the ball against players that are much bigger than him, like Pogba, and so strength, I would say. And then last thing, which is hard to train on your own maybe, but is that a goal? No, offside. Whatever. Would be speed of play. So, which comes with your passing abilities, probably your first touch, a bit like how your first touch is, but also just how quick you are in your mind, which comes with experience, and
There we go. There are the steps, the not the steps, but the skills you need to know as a central midfielder.
Yes.
to close things up, and this is especially for the members on the Train Effective platform who are looking for the exercises and drills to do as a central midfielder, if I had to suggest any, here's what I would do. The recommended workouts, recommended exercises to do as a Train Effective Academy player. If I had to say some workouts, guys, first of all, a program to follow, passing and finishing program, is going to be a great one for every central midfielder out there. We also going to have any two-player workout is always going to be great. You get a lot of touches on the ball, a lot of passing on the ball, a lot of short passing, one-touch, two-touch movement kind of stuff. The tight spaces workout's going to be great. As a midfielder, you're always going to be in tight spaces. For the attacking midfielders out there, the attacking movement workout's going to be good. Crafty Controller is working a lot of one-touch things in directional control kind of stuff. And the wall workouts, big thing in Train Effective. Do the wall workouts because they are going to focus on your one-touch, two-touch technique, even sometimes your awareness and scanning on the ball, and especially when you're doing all these kind of workouts and you put them in a calendar over 1 to 2 to 3 months, 4 months, you are going to see massive improvement. So there you go, central midfielders. These are the workouts you can do on the Train Effective platform. If you're not a member yet, as this is a podcast now, if you're not a member yet, let's create something for podcast peeps, podcast effective fam out there. If you want to get effective, 10% off coupon. If you go to traineffective.com, enter the coupon podcast. Yeah. And you get 10% off, and even if you don't like effective, there's a 30-day money back 30-day money back guarantee. So otherwise, one last example. One last example.
Well done.
Oh,
I'm not sure if that was a centre midfielder, but
looks like one.
yeah, definitely very strong.
Ooh, no. So, last example, if we just take that back, it was a player in the middle here. Ball comes in the air. It's kind of all over the place, scrambling, but that's, again, what we just talked about, strength.
Yeah.
To shove that defender off the ball without causing a foul, and then getting stuck in again to keep possession of the ball and possible. And not only possible, but continuous run as well. And shame that wasn't a goal, but it all started from winning that ball back in the midfield. Strong midfield can transition to good attacks. So that's about it. That was our class today. Any final words, Corbi?
I think last one, maybe talking about this game, you can kind of see that, what are the name?
Kyrgyzstan and India.
Kyrgyz. You'll see that their centre midfielders are a lot more present and a lot kind of, they work a lot more.
And it just seems like they want the ball more.
Because I really don't see a lot from the
Indian.
Indian centre midfielders. I don't think we've talked about them at all, pretty much. Just bad examples, really. And I think that is quite often the reason why teams are maybe not as good or something, because of their centre midfielders. And we talked about it earlier, like India just plays long balls, and I think centre midfielders are a very important part of any...
It can be the key.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to title this now. The key. the key, the role or how to play as a central midfielder.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be good. So, who actually wins this game? And there we go. So I think and India actually scored in the end, very late in the match. But I think Kyrgyzstan win this game 2-1. I'm kind of interested in seeing how this. Interesting. They did try to play a little crosses India, so it worked out in the end. But central midfielders way more class, more quality with the Kyrgyzstan players. So that's it. That's the class today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay effective. Any questions, just let us know. Comment. For the people listening on the podcast, make sure you if you do have questions, Instagram DM us. Fastest way to reach us, Instagram DM or Snapchat at Train Effective. So from Nick, from Corbi, from the Effective House in London. See ya.
See ya.
See ya later. Peace.